You might want to sit down for this one because the courtroom just turned into a crime scene. And the victim this time. YNW Melly's entire defense team. Yep, after months of whispers, backroom debates, and those weird half-smirks. Melly's been throwing in court like it's a fashion show. The judge just dropped a legal nuke that might have sealed this boy's fate for good. So let's ask the question that's got the whole internet spiraling. What really happened that night? What does the judge know that we don't? And why did this supposedly airtight double homicide case just take a turn so dark it got the court clerks clutching pearls and TMZ tripping over themselves? Because according to fresh courtroom revelations no, we ain't talking Reddit theories or fan fiction. This ain't just about a rapper caught in a murder trial. Oh no, this is about burner phones, disappearing evidence, a jailhouse love triangle, and a mother's testimony that might have cracked the case wide open. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, and don't blink, because what the judge just revealed about YNW Melly is the kind of plot twist even Netflix wouldn't touch. And baby, it's only just beginning. So let's go ahead and rip the band-aid off, shall we? Because if you thought the YNW Melly trial was just another sad, predictable rapper gone rogue story, baby, you clearly haven't been paying attention. This isn't just a case. It's a full-blown Shakespearean horror story in Dior sneakers. And guess what? The judge just yanked the curtains back. Let's start from the beginning, or at least the beginning that the public thinks they know. In February 2019, the world stood still when news broke that aspiring rapper YNW real name YNW Demons, yes, Demons, how poetic, was arrested for the alleged double murder of his two best friends, YNW and YNW Sakasur. The twist. Prosecutors say he staged it as a drive-by, shooting to cover up the fact that he was the trigger man. Yup, that's the level of Netflix-level betrayal we're dealing with. Best friends, rap crew, blood in, blood out until it was just blood. Out. Now, fast forward to today. The trial? A mess. The evidence? Even messier? And the judge? Tired. But before we get to that courtroom bombshell, let's take a little tour through Mellys history. Because believe it or not, this ain't his first tango with chaos. First of all, let's not act like Melly didn't already have a reputation for being, how do we say this politely, a walking liability. This is the same dude who named his breakout hit Murder on My Mind, a song that dropped right before he was arrested. Coincidence? The internet said, Prosecutors said exhibit. Hey, and the fans? Oh, the fans were busy turning it into TikTok audios while ignoring the fact that he literally sang about catching a body in his sleep. But wait, it gets darker. Let's talk about his inner circle. Because honey, this wasn't no gospel choir. The YNW crew had more drama than AVH1 reunion special. There were whispers of money problems, jealousy, girls being passed around like mixtapes, and alleged threats that had been brewing long before the fatal night. Melly's social media cryptic, his lyrics disturbingly specific, his interviews full of smiles but hollow in the eyes. And just when you thought it couldn't get any sketchier, his own mother started speaking out. Yes, you heard that right. The matriarch herself, Ms. Jamie King, went on social media and practically lit a match under the whole trial. She claimed people were lying on her son, said the prosecutors were crooked, and even hinted that witnesses were being manipulated. Now, I don't know about you, but when Mama Bear starts tweeting like she's dropping courtroom mixtapes, something ain't clean in the kitchen. Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, it was giving circus energy. The prosecutors couldn't keep their evidence straight. The defense kept raising eyebrows with creative arguments, and Melly? Oh, he sat there grinning like he was watching a comedy special. Now here's where things get juicy. For months, everything's been building toward this one moment, the judge finally addressing the elephant in the room. What really happened that night in the car? What was the motive? What was Melly hiding? And why does it seem like everyone around him is either dead, silent, or suddenly catching memory loss like it's contagious? And just when everyone thought the prosecution's case was falling apart, faster than a SoundCloud rapper's career boom, The judge demanded that sealed evidence be reviewed behind closed doors. Reporters were kicked out. Attorneys started whispering like they were plotting a Netflix reboot. And Melly? He stopped smiling. That's when the murmurs began. New testimony, secret footage, deleted text messages retrieved. And just like that, the public went from thinking this case was a toss-up to wondering if Melly had just walked into his own trap. But don't get comfortable. Because what's about to unfold in part 2 isn't just a scandal, it's a full-blown legal thriller with betrayal, cover-ups, and courtroom chaos so twisted, even Law and Order had to take notes. Because when the judge finally unsealed the truth, the entire courtroom fell silent. And what came next? Oh baby, you're not ready, but hold up. Just when the courtroom thought it had heard the worst, the prosecution casually dropped what might be the biggest bombshell of the entire case. And baby, jaws hit the damn floor. According to an alleged jailhouse informant, someone the state claims had close proximity to Melly while he was behind bars, the rapper allegedly confessed. Not just about the murders, but the why behind them. And if this leaked testimony is even half true, we're not just talking about revenge or money. We're talking industry betrayal, career sabotage, and a secret triangle of jealousy that allegedly pushed Melly to the edge. The court documents fake or not paint a chilling picture. The informant claims Melly believed both YNW Juvie and YNW Sakasur were plotting to cut him out of future deals. One alleged plan included filing paperwork to take full ownership of the YN brand without Melly. Another leaked text message supposedly shows Juvie bragging about ghostwriting some of Melly's early hits, claiming he was the real talent. Melly allegedly saw the betrayal coming. He felt used, set up. And according to the anonymous source, that's when he snapped, not in a rage, not in a fit, but cold, calculated, and eerily calm. Like a man signing his own record deal with the devil. And then this UV, the night of the shooting. Prosecution revealed reconstructed footage and ballistics data again. Allegedly, that contradicts Melly's alibi. They claimed gunfire came from inside the car, not outside like initially stated. One bullet path showed a trajectory impossible to come from a drive-by. Another matched the same angle as a person sitting behind the victims. Guess who was sitting behind them that night? Courtroom silence. Just the clicking of pens and gasps echoing off the walls. This wasn't just looking bad for Melly. This was cinematic level incrimination. And just when people thought it couldn't get messier, insert the wild card, the burner phone. According to unverified investigative leaks, someone allegedly smuggled a cell phone into Melly's jail cell. Messages were extracted, conversations reviewed. And let me tell you, if the messages are real, they make power look like bluey.in. These alleged messages, Melly is seen trying to contact a studio executive. Not just to talk about music, no. He was allegedly negotiating silence, a payoff. Possibly even threatening to release damning information about someone else if he didn't walk free. Screenshots referenced one particular message. They got me, but they ain't ready for what I got on them. They ain't ready for the real story. Who? Ain't nobody sipping tea now. We're drinking boiling oil. Because what real story is he talking about? Could it be a bigger ring? A darker secret? Or is this just Melly, desperate, rambling, bluffing from his cell? Meanwhile, social media? A complete war zone. Hashtag Free Melly was trending. But so was hashtag YNW Betrayal, hashtag Melly Confessed, and even hashtag Juvie Deserved Bitter. Fans were divided. Some clung to Melly's innocence like gospel. Others said the court didn't need proof, they already knew he was guilty by vibes alone. And then celebrity voices chimed in. A now deleted tweet from a major rapper said, "We all knew. He told us in the music. Ain't no surprise." Another big-name producer posted on IG, "When art imitates life too closely, sometimes it's a confession, not creativity." But wait, remember Melly's mom? Oh, she wasn't quiet. Not by a long shot. She went live face fully beat, nails done, tears streaming, and said the whole case was a setup from inside the industry. She pointed fingers. Claimed executives were scared of Melly's power. that his music was about to expose dark truths, and that her son was never the killer, he was the target. The chat was flooded with people crying, "Preach, Mama Melly!" And she knows the truth. But let's be real, there were just as many saying, "Lady, your son wrote a song called Murder on My Mind and then got charged with murder." Like, hello? The circus didn't stop there. A former security guard whose employment history is more suspicious than a Kardashian's before and after face came forward claiming he overheard legal officials laughing about dragging this out for press. That's right, Baby claimed the entire thing was a publicity stunt. The case wasn't about justice. It was about dollars. Eyeballs, views. If that wasn't wild enough, the defense team started pushing a completely different narrative. They claimed that the real shooter was someone in the entourage who has since disappeared. Gone, poof, no records, no sightings, just vanished like a TikTok trend. How convenient. Suddenly the court was filled with rumors of witnesses being unavailable, evidence going missing, and chain of custody being compromised. The whole thing began to smell. Not like justice, but like rot. And we're only halfway through this mess. And just when you thought the circus couldn't get any wilder, the courtroom pulled out its final act. Because apparently this wasn't just about Melly, a couple of bullets, and some Instagram lyrics anymore. No, baby. This case turned into a full-blown government-level puzzle one, where everyone from the FBI to the IRS and even the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms somehow found a reason to peek inside. Let's rewind. After the judge made the shocking announcement that key surveillance footage from inside the studio that night had been mysteriously tampered with, the courtroom didn't gasp, they screamed. Technical malfunction? Really? On the very camera pointing at the studio parking lot where two of Melly's closest friends were last seen alive? Oh, how convenient. And who was in charge of that surveillance system? Allegedly, none other than a third-party security firm. Run by Melly's cousin's girlfriend's brother, that's right. Not an official source? Not a verified authority? Just a man named Tyrell, with a Wi-Fi password and a sketchy history of deleting footage after birthday parties gone wrong. The prosecution didn't hold back, they called it what it was, a strategic blackout. But wait, it gets better, Don. Anonymous juror, now under protective supervision, leaked to a local tabloid that during deliberation, someone tried to bribe one of the panelists, cash in a fast food wrapper. Slid under the hotel room door. That's not just scandalous, that's cinematic. Netflix, where you at? Meanwhile, fans online were divided like the Red Sea. Team Melly trended #FreeTheGoat and accused the government of targeting another successful black artist, but the opposition? Oh, they weren't playing either. He ain't misunderstood. He's a full-time hitman with a mixtape. One viral comment read. Another user posted a TikTok breakdown of ballistics, phone pings, and Snapchat. Timestamps like she was in CSI, Florida, but what truly flipped this entire courtroom upside down was the lyrics. Yes, prosecutors finally brought up Melly's music, particularly his now infamous hit Murder on My Mind. You'd think it was a confessional. But Melly's defense clapped back hard. If y'all can prosecute based on lyrics, then Eminem should be in solitary confinement by now, his lawyer said. And tell me why the courtroom clapped. Security had to step in and tell the spectators, this ain't Apollo. Still, things went from heated to full-on volcanic when the prosecution introduced a handwritten note allegedly passed by Melly to another inmate. In the note, a crude sketch showing two stick figures and a car with "Boom Boom" written next to it and a caption that simply read, "No witness, no problem." The defense claimed it was a joke. The prosecution said it was a confession in crayon, and the judge? He looked like he needed a vacation and a drink, but remember the mysterious witness who never showed up? Oh, she finally appeared, hoodie on, face blurred, voice disguised like she was in a mob documentary. She claimed she saw Melly, Bortland, and the victims leave the studio together, and later she saw only two of them return. But when cross-examined, she admitted she was high on mushrooms and cough syrup that night. So, there goes that dot. As the case dragged into its final week, the prosecution tried one last Hail Mary. They linked Melly to a burner phone allegedly used to coordinate a hit on a witness. The phone? Recovered from under a toilet in the jail's C block. The lock screen? A selfie of Melly throwing up peace signs. Yo, we can't make this up. Or actually we can, but that's beside the point. The defense argued it was planted. You really think he'd be dumb enough to leave a burner with his own face on it? The lawyer snapped, but the jury? Their eyes told another story. Half of them looked horrified. The other half looked like they were mentally tweeting the entire trial. Then came the final testimony, a surprise character witness. Melly's mother, she sobbed on the stand, swearing on everything holy that her son couldn't hurt a fly. She read old texts where he promised her a mansion, showed baby photos, even played a voicemail where Melly said, "Mama, we gon' be alright." It was emotional. It was theatrical. It was, honestly, Oscar-worthy. But emotion didn't erase the timeline, the GPS data, the blood spatter analysis, the phone records, and the missing footage. Because once the closing arguments were done and the judge's gavel came down, the only thing more uncertain than the verdict was what was coming next. Rumors started swirling like a Florida hurricane. People whispering about possible perjury charges, someone from the legal team being investigated for tampering, and even a music exec allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes. Because if Melly falls, he's not falling alone. Oh no. If this ship sinks, a lot of big names are going down with him, and just like that, the courtroom lights dimmed. Reporters packed up, the audience filed out in silence. And Melly, he looked dead into the camera, smiled, and mouthed something nobody could quite hear, but according to one lip reader online, he said, "This ain't over." And now that the courtroom walls have finally whispered their secrets, the question remains, is this the end of YNW Melly, or just the beginning of an even darker saga? Drop your theories in the comments, because this rabbit hole only goes deeper. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell, because the next bombshell, oh, it's already ticking, and trust us, you won't want to miss it.